I want to show you an incredible video of Angela Merkel. She's the Chancellor of Germany. She's the one who said that there should be no limits for immigration from the Muslim Middle East to Germany. She started the recent stampede by calling for 800,000 migrants, first come, first serve, no application forms necessary, no proof of any danger to your lives necessary, and anyone who can make it immediately gets thousands of dollars in special benefits plus access to Germany's existing welfare state. 100,000 migrants, overwhelmingly young Muslim men, have come in the past month alone to take her up on her offer. In one single day, more than 10,000 men arrived in the city of Munich alone. Imagine that. And if you dare to question this, well, you're called a Nazi, which in Germany tends to shut people up pretty quickly. Well, let me show you an incredible video. It's almost 4 minutes long, but literally every minute of it is amazing. It's a woman in Germany, she looks sweet, frankly looks like a progressive liberal, asking Angela Merkel, in a nutshell, aren't you putting our country at risk? Here, take a look.
Sie haben vorhin auch die Verantwortung von dieser ganzen Geschichte mit den Flüchtlingen angesprochen. Eine der Verantwortungen ist es ja aber auch, uns hier in Europa zu schützen. Und vor allem mit Flüchtlingen aus Syrien und aus diesen Ländern kommen ja noch mehr Leute mit einem islamischen Hintergrund zu uns. Und ich glaube, was der Herr vorhin angesprochen hat, beinhaltet ja auch eine große Angst hier in Europa zu dieser Islamisierung, die immer mehr stattfindet. Wie wollen Sie Europa in dieser Hinsicht und unsere Kultur schützen?
Ich glaube erst einmal, dass der Islamismus und der islamistische Terror leider Erscheinungen sind, die wir ganz stark natürlich in Syrien haben, in Libyen haben, im Norden des Irak haben, aber zu denen leider die Europäische Union eine Vielzahl von Kämpfern beigetragen hat. Und wir können nicht sagen, das ist ein Phänomen, das uns nichts angeht, sondern es sind zum Teil Menschen, oft sehr junge Menschen, die in unseren Ländern aufgewachsen sind und wo wir auch unseren Beitrag leisten.
Okay, she says that terrorism is primarily happening over there in Iraq and Syria and Libya. And I guess that's true enough. It's not anarchy in Europe yet like it is in the Middle East, but there have been plenty of deadly Muslim terrorist attacks in Europe and many more foiled terrorist attacks, from the Madrid subway bombings to the London subway bombings to the attack on Paris's Charlie Hebdo magazine. Fine, it's true that most terrorist attacks numerically happen in the Middle East, but then did you see that? She blamed Germany and blamed Europe because some Muslims who are in Europe go back to the Middle East to fight with the Islamic State. She actually is saying that Germany helped cause the Islamic State terrorism because Germany took in some Muslim terrorists who then went back to the Middle East to commit terrorism. She actually blames Europe for the Islamic State. Here, watch some more.
Zweitens, Angst war noch nie ein guter Ratgeber, also es ist im persönlichen Leben nicht und es ist auch im gesellschaftlichen Leben nicht. Kulturen und Gesellschaften, die von Angst geprägt sind, werden mit Sicherheit die Zukunft nicht meistern.
Look, this lady in the audience is afraid. She's afraid of terrorism as we know it, afraid that amongst these hundreds of thousands of unscreened Muslim men are more terrorists to come. And all Merkel has to say, 15 seconds, is, well, fear is not a good advisor. Don't listen to fear. That's it. 15-second answer, just don't be afraid, just a little cliche. No real answers to real threats. Don't listen to fear. Well, how about listening to warnings from the Islamic State itself that says they're going to sneak in with these migrants? How about listening to evidence? How about to real Muslim terror plots being discovered in Europe every week? Don't listen to them? Here's more of Angela Merkel.
Und drittens, wir haben diese Debatte natürlich auch, dass wir sehr viele Muslime in Deutschland haben. Wir haben die Debatte darüber, ob der Islam zu Deutschland gehört. Wenn man 4 Millionen Muslime hat, finde ich, braucht man nicht darüber zu streiten, ob jetzt die Muslime zu Deutschland gehören und der Islam nicht oder ob der Islam auch zu Deutschland gehört. Aber da gibt es auch diese Sorgen und ich muss Ihnen ganz ehrlich sagen, wir haben doch alle Chancen und alle Freiheiten, uns zu unserer Religion, sofern wir sie ausüben und an sie glauben, zu bekennen.
So now she's suggesting that Islam belongs to Germany. And Germany now belongs to Islam, I presume. And anyways, she says there are already 4 million Muslims in Germany, so what are you going to do about it, right? Here's more.
Und wenn ich was vermisse, dann ist das nicht, dass ich irgendjemandem vorwerfe, dass er sich zu seinem muslimischen Glauben bekennt, sondern dann haben wir doch auch den Mut zu sagen, dass wir Christen sind. Haben wir doch den Mut zu sagen, dass wir da in einen Dialog eintreten. Haben wir doch dann aber auch bitteschön die Tradition, mal wieder in den Gottesdienst zu gehen oder ein bisschen bibelfest zu sein und vielleicht auch mal ein Bild in der Kirche noch erklären zu können. Und wenn Sie mal Aufsätze in Deutschland schreiben lassen, was Pfingsten bedeutet, da würde ich mal sagen, ist es mit der Kenntnis über das christliche Abendland nicht so weit her. Und sich anschließend zu beklagen, dass Muslime sich im Koran besser auskennen, das finde ich irgendwie komisch. Und vielleicht kann uns diese Debatte auch mal wieder dazu führen, dass wir uns mit unseren eigenen Wurzeln befassen und ein bisschen mehr Kenntnis darüber haben.
What? So this lady from the audience said she is worried about the Islamization of Germany. I know what that means. It means worried about terrorism and violence. But it also means worrying about Sharia law, worrying about women being put into hijabs and niqabs and burqas. It means worries about a lack of separation between mosque and state. And Merkel says the solution to this is for this question asker to go to church more, to look at paintings in a church. That was her advice. Here's a woman, we have no idea if she's Christian at all, saying she's afraid of mass, unlimited, unscreened immigration of young Muslim men. And all Merkel says is she should go to church? This isn't a contest between theological abstractions. This is about the character of the German state itself, the public square, the laws, the culture. It's not about what book one reads privately in a house of worship. Worried about 100,000 Muslim men? Oh, go to a church and read a book, look at a painting. What is she even saying? Here's some more.
Finde ich diese Debatte sehr defensiv. Gegen terroristische Gefahren muss man sich wappnen. Und ansonsten ist die europäische Geschichte so reich an so dramatischen und gruseligen Auseinandersetzungen, dass wir sehr vorsichtig sein sollten, uns sofort zu beklagen, wenn woanders was Schlimmes passiert. Wir müssen angehen dagegen, wir müssen versuchen, das zu bekämpfen. Aber wir haben nun überhaupt keinen Grund auch zu größerem Hochmut, muss ich sagen. Das sage ich jetzt als deutsche Bundeskanzlerin.
Okay, so now we have it. It took 3 minutes for Merkel to get to it, but here it is. For her, this isn't about dealing with the facts on the ground. This isn't about the 100,000 Muslim migrant men she's taken in. This is about some sort of national psychological therapy for her as German Chancellor. Did you see that? She's saying, sure, jihadists may be evil, but who are we Germans to speak? Don't forget how evil we were in the past, and not just the far past, but the recent past. Don't be haughty and arrogant, she actually said. So keeping Germany's culture of liberal secularism is haughty and arrogant, she says. Defending against unscreened migrants is haughty and arrogant, she says, because, hey, Germany did awful things to the Jews and to others, so shut up about awful things that Muslim extremists want to do to us. This isn't a public policy. This is a personal therapy. I note that Merkel herself doesn't have any kids, and neither did the last German chancellor either. They don't have a personal future. Now, maybe it was for personal reasons, I don't know. But the last two German leaders have, for whatever reason, no stake in the future. An amateur psychologist might say they have decided to terminate themselves as a form of ethnic punishment, the ultimate in self-hate. Selbsthass is the special German word for hating yourself. They hate themselves for what they or their parents or their grandparents did. They hate Germany today because of what Germany was in the 30s and 40s. And so they will not personally build a German future. And anyone who wants to is just haughty and arrogant and has obviously forgotten Germany's great crimes. And sure, some of these Muslim terrorists are bad, but no worse than Germany was. And anyways, she says, Germany is partly to blame for the Islamic State, and why don't you just go to a church and look at a painting? This is crazy. Now, she looks tired in this video, but I don't think she was drunk or delusional. She hasn't corrected these comments later. As far as I know, this is Angela Merkel's worldview. Germany doesn't belong to the Germans. Germany should be de-Germanified. Germans don't deserve Germany. Any foreigner fresh off a train does. Shut up if you disagree. Don't you know that Germany is guilty, guilty, guilty? Look, I disagree. I'm a Jew. I mean, hatred for the Nazis was taught to me from childhood, but I know that Germany today is not Nazi. They're liberal. The grandchildren of the Nazis are not guilty by birth, and even if they were, the solution, the punishment, would not be to let in 1 million Muslim men, including amongst them today's Nazis, those from radical Islam. Angela Merkel just read out Germany's official suicide note. The fact that this video is so underreported tells me that most media, frankly, agree with her. For the Rebel.Media, I'm Ezra Levant.